Welcome back to Not Alone with Melissa Sue, where we share stories of truth, healing, hope, resilience, and allowing a safe place to removing the mask we often wear. Today's episode is for all the women that seem to have it all together, but inside we're falling apart. And I know this all too well because for a very long time I hid behind the smile, just like my first book, The Truth Behind the Smiles. We looked picture perfect. Husband, wife, 2 kids, boy and a girl, beautiful home, a dental office. We travel, we had wonderful friends and community. But inside we were breaking. So this is for the women listening right now, where this is going to be important tools that you're going to learn for yourself, for your family, because I do honestly believe that women are the heart of the family. Either if you're a grandma, you're a daughter, you are a wife, a mother, each role is kind of the heart of the family. And taking care of us has not been generationally something that was taught. We were taught to give and give and give, and we love giving because we love to give love. But oftentimes, we don't love ourselves enough. We critique ourselves so much. We compare ourselves so much, and the way we talk to our bodies. So today, I'm honored to have a dear friend and fellow author, Kristen Merwin, here today to share her wisdom as a mother and now grandmother.
Yes.
And I just can't wait to share all your wisdom through your work, your books, and your journey.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I'm excited too. And I would like to start as to, I actually, we should probably mention that how we met, which is I love how God works, because I moved to Arizona after my husband passes, and I feel called to do like a little retreat, a little getaway for myself, which I haven't done ever. And I felt so much guilt because my kids had separation and anxiety from losing their dad. But I find this woman who's going to be doing this grieving kind of healing retreat up in Sedona. And I was like, I need to go. I need to go and do this. And you were there.
I was there with my sister.
I know, you were there.
Yes.
And there was only maybe 6 of us.
It was so small.
Yeah, it was small, but I loved that.
And it was a last minute decision.
Yes.
My sister was coming into town and I was like, let's do this.
I love
It's just
that.
a few days and we jumped in.
And that's the first time I met you. And I remember just in those 3-4 days that we were there, how much more peace I was at when I showed up back home. I was calmer.
Yeah.
And it was so powerful. So I knew I needed to keep doing this time for myself and how important it was, because I was showing up at home the mom I always wish I wanted to be.
Right.
So I'd love to share for you, where in your life, what's the timing where you knew I've got to make some changes here? And where you started really, I need to start working on myself, or I know you started going to different retreats and you felt the need to kind of get away.
The retreats came a lot later because my kids were so little and my husband was building a business and I really couldn't get away. I like to call it the Great Waffle Incident in aisle 6 in the book, I think is what it's called, where I just had a complete meltdown about the waffles my kids liked. They weren't in stock. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was the buildup of everything. My phone, the text messages were going off the hook. I had a to-do list a mile long. I had just finished parent-teacher conferences. I had been feeling exhausted for a really long time and been to the doctor even, and everything was okay. So I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. It is a funny story, but yeah, I was getting waffles at the grocery store and I could just feel when they were not in stock, my eyes filling up with tears, burning, like thinking it is not supposed to be this heavy, right? What is happening inside of me? And it was shortly after that that I got an email about some coaching certifications it was a coaching institute that was opening up, and everything that they were promising with ways to regulate your nervous system. I had never heard of a nervous system before. And I liked that it was also a body-based somatic approach and not just about your mindset. And so I started learning, and that's when I decided to go to a life coach. I had never had any sort of coaching or therapy or anything. That opened me up to EMDR with a therapist, where I could understand why my body was signaling what it was with anxiety and with the sadness and the heaviness that I felt. I always just pushed it away because I thought I have everything. Why would I ever be sad?
Yeah,
Why would
because
I
you
have
looked at yourself,
anxiety?
you're like, oh, okay, beautiful woman, you have your kids, a
Thank
house, a
you.
home. So why should I be feeling this way?
And so much guilt about that,
Hmm.
because
Yes.
then I didn't know that you could hold both. I didn't know that you could be so grateful and also sad, or that you could be so in love with your family and your life and also have crippling anxiety. I always lived my life in black and white, and understanding the way that the nervous system works and looking at what my reactions were about and what was underneath of them really is what led to my freedom.
So what did you learn? Like, because we were not given those tools about the nervous system, right?
Right.
Same with me. I was never taught, well, protect your nervous system, protect your energy, and do some breath work, do some meditation. That was not taught at a young age. And there's no fault to our parents because that
No,
wasn't taught to them either.
no,
But now we're realizing how crucial that is for our life, for vitality, and for our systems to work properly.
it's a game changer
It is.
when you understand that. And also removing the shame from that, because I thought it meant I didn't have enough faith, or gratitude, like I was saying. But when I understood that our bodies are meant to react, we're not meant to be at this perfectly regulated state all of the time, right? And I was afraid of my reactions and some of my emotions, so I would just look away from it. I would look away from them. I would push them down. I made them wrong. And when I understood that it was completely safe to look within myself, okay, what is this reaction about? Not only what is it about, but what is underneath of it? Maybe when is the first time that I felt that? And is my reaction in this moment truly about the moment, or is it
About the
about something
waffles.
else?
Like, what
Exactly.
is it truly about the waffles?
Right. And most of us are self-aware enough to be like, I don't think it's about the waffles.
Yes.
And when I wrote my book, Sacred Return, I wrote a 6-part practice. Return is the practice. And it brings a woman back to herself in those moments. And it takes all of the certifications as a brain practitioner and multiple brain integration and the wellness academy and what I have learned, and it puts it into a 6-part practice that helps a woman not only see what she's experiencing, but what's underneath of it and how to come back to herself.
Okay, so almost like repattering and like bringing awareness, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
right? Bringing awareness and releasing that shame. And then so they can allow to process it
Totally.
and know what triggers it probably as well, right?
Absolutely. And one of the biggest things that I talk to women about, they say, I don't even know how to feel my feelings anymore. And they get kind of angry about it because they're like, I don't know what that means or even where to start because I haven't gone there for so long. And this is really such a beautiful, easy practice that you can learn and help you to disconnect from all of that shame and understand that your body's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yes, because the nervous system it's
Yes.
supposed to be doing this. It's
Yes.
supposed to be even, when you're constantly doing the grind, the busyness that we've been taught that productivity is the way to go and stay busy. And when you're slowed down, you're not productive like the person beside you. You got to keep grinding to achieve wealth and abundance and perfectionism,
Right.
really.
Right.
And as a family, so your body just gets accustomed to that. And then what happens in the family, it's called mirror neurons. Your kids will start mirroring your nervous system, because that's what your nervous system is trained to do,
Right.
is to mirror the nervous system you're surrounded by.
Co-regulating. Totally.
Right?
It's huge.
It's huge. So for you, can you explain, I know the steps a little bit of your program, just to kind of give a visual as to what it is? Does it incorporate some breath or visualizations, or just to give an idea for women if they feel this would resonate for them?
Yes. So R of return is recognize. So the very first step is, where am I feeling this in my body? And sometimes it's a tight throat. It's a heaviness in our chest or in our gut. And we attach no story, nothing to it. All we want to know is where it is in our body. The next is we empathize, the E. And so, okay, of course, I would feel scared or anxiety about XYZ, right? We're just bringing in compassion, because we're never going to shame ourselves into different behavior. I truly believe there has to be love and compassion there first. So the next part is the truth. And we just look at, okay, what is the truth and what is my story in this? Not story as if I'm making something up, but just the facts, because we can make so many stories about what's actually happening. Like, we're late to our kids' baseball practice. The story could be, oh, I'm a terrible mom, right? But that's not actually what we're talking about. That's not the truth of it. It's a story. The next part is the U, and it's untangle. And so that's where we really look at, okay, where is the first time that I have felt like I am falling behind, or that I am a bad mom, a bad daughter, so when you've done the steps previous to this, I'm always so surprised how quickly it comes, that the woman is able to see what's underneath of it when she's followed those other practices. And then we have the R, and that's it's reclaim. What is it that we want to look like? That we want this situation to look like? And sometimes there's repair in there as well. So as a mom, does that look like going back to my child and saying, I missed it. I wish that I would have reacted in a different way or responded differently. And the last part is next step, and that is the nervous system. And it looks like I have in my book quick ways to find regulation with our nervous system and take the next step, because it's so easy for women to get stuck in the shame or overwhelm of it. And so we just take one next step.
Yeah, well, this is so powerful. As you're explaining this whole program, I feel this is so needed for so many. I mean, I can't help but walk around now and see the world in a nervous system lens.
Totally.
That's how I see the world. When I'm in a dental office, I see it, the effects in the mouth. I see it with mothers. I see it with everyone, my children. And your steps are so well played out. I mean, they really are, especially because here's what I found. If the person doesn't find safety first, like you said, love, right? Compassion, they won't be ready for that next step, the truth. That's what I find, because it will overwhelm them, right?
Totally.
And they won't want to see it, almost block it out.
Freeze.
Their
nervous system is in a freeze.
Yeah, because their nervous system will be like, no, I can't see that.
Right.
It's just too much. So bringing in that softness, that safety first, that self-love, that they can now see the truth and they can handle to see it
Yes.
with compassion,
Right.
compassionate love, compassionate eyes and love. And that is such an important, people might think of all this very simple, but is so crucial and vital for our health.
Right.
Nervous system, you cannot heal, you cannot repair
Right.
in a sympathetic nervous system. So this kind of work is vital for our health, for our longevity, for our children. So for you to incorporate that program each step, it's so well thought out.
Thank you.
And I know, you've prayed over, we were on Writer's Island together,
Yes.
and you, for yourself, have lived this.
I truly have. This is a practice that I've been doing since I was certified under Dr. Shefali for conscious parenting. And what I learned from her completely changed the trajectory of motherhood for me. I thought that I thought I was failing, first of all, but I thought that if I could just react like this or do this or, manipulate this, that then things would turn around. Then I could, and what I could see and what I learned from Dr. Shefali is our children have come to us as they are, and that is so beautiful. And we can look at them as our greatest teachers.
Yes.
And understand the reactions that we are having towards them almost never have to do with them.
Yes.
It's
a mirror.
A mirroring back all
which is
of
hard.
our injury. Oh, it's the worst.
Hard. It's like,
it's the worst.
It was my mirror.
Totally.
Yes.
And by doing what I learned from her changed the relationships that I had with my children, because it gave me sovereign responsibility for myself. And then I could see their gifts even more clearly, and I could love them in such a beautiful way that was not a reflection of me.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself because, as life was so overwhelming before in Alaska, I was very much sometimes when I'm really tired, reactive, the screaming and the yelling and not the mother I wanted to be. And then there's that shame. And then I'm like, you mentioned I'm failing. My biggest gift is being a mother, and I love being a mother. And then when I was feeling like I'm failing, oh my gosh, I hated myself so much.
Right.
And I beat myself down for it. And then I would wonder, like, why do I get to that point?
Yes.
I realized, yes, I'm tired and overwhelmed, but I didn't realize the nervous system part of it, what was affecting my nervous system on a daily basis.
Right.
And so we don't realize that now, our 5Gs, our environments affect the noise. Like for me in a dental office, the sonic noises and the sounds that are around us, the lighting, all of that plays a role. So what are we doing on a daily basis to recalibrate our nervous system so that we can show up as the mom the person we want to be?
Right.
And because, when you're shown that mirror, for example, for a while, my daughter, the explosions, the anger, and I think I couldn't be that safe, calm place when she was so reactive like that because my nervous system was overwhelmed. So then it was two fires together,
right?
And then it made me sad because we had such a beautiful relationship. But when it gets like that, it's like, oh my gosh, I couldn't figure it out. Like, and oftentimes here as a parent, you're like, how do I fix my child?
Right.
Right. We start there.
Of course. That's so much easier.
Yes. Yeah. There's something wrong with them.
Let's fix this.
Let's fix them. Let's go find all the specialists for them. Let's go do all the things. Where a lot of times it needs to start with us, and because they co-regulate,
right?
And that's a hard one to swallow, right?
The hardest.
It's a hard one to be like, oh, I'm impacting my family more than I ever imagined.
We're not taught that.
No.
So discipline looks a lot different when a mother is willing to look within herself and ask, okay, what is this bringing up in me?
Yes, and it could be old triggers. Like it could be Melissa, that 7-year-old running the show.
If it's hysterical, it's historical.
Okay.
Is what I learned in hypnotherapy. And so if we ever have a reaction that does not meet the situation that's in front of us, you can bet that it is bringing up something from a very long time ago.
A very long time ago. And so how would you address that as a mom? Address what's running the show, that little girl, right? That little girl.
The return
The
practice
return practice.
is a beautiful place to start. And I don't like to use it as like a to-do list or anything like that. It's just a guide to come back to yourself.
Yes.
And what was your question?
Well, it's like for going back to that little girl running the show, you're
Okay.
saying with your program, you do address those because you're bringing awareness to those triggers.
Right.
Right. So through your program, you are addressing, because oftentimes we don't even realize that young girl, that young boy, but right now we're talking about women, is running the show, because that's where what kept us safe back then as a survival is running the show later on in our adulthood until we
Right.
become aware of it.
So when I hear you say that, I believe that reparenting is what we offer the child that is trying to run the show. And I don't think that there I think that when they show themselves like that, and I don't like using that because then people are like, oh,
Misunderstand what we're
yes.
saying. Yes.
But when there is that reaction, if we can turn towards that need, because that's what that is, it's a need. For example, if let's say there is a mom that is getting really upset about what's something burn dinner. I'm just
Yes.
going to use something
Yes.
everybody probably does every day. It's not about the burn dinner. It's not about that. It's probably not even about, the groceries that she just wasted. Even it's about the feeling of failure that's underneath of it, disappointment of herself, and her family. That now some of this she might be imagining, but really it's not about the woman that just burned the dinner. It's about the younger part of her that felt like she was a disappointment, that felt like she couldn't count on herself. And so it would look like turning towards that part of her with compassion and empathy and looking what did she need? So what was it that she needed at the time? What did she need to hear? What did she need to experience? And giving that to her in real time today.
Actually, that as you're saying that, it reminds me when I worked with my psychologist, she would call it parts work.
Yes.
And we did parts work, and I remember her putting me through a visualization of that little girl. And if she sat beside me, what would I say to her to feel safe?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, at first I'm like, oh, what are we doing?
Yes,
but,
I agree.
But it really worked.
I know.
And so that little girl, that little parts of herself, even she got me to do it from 2 years old to 7 to even 20s and 30s, and what does that woman then needed to hear,
Right.
to feel more safe, to let you now,
Right.
run the show. So I think this is such powerful work to get people to come back to themselves and to understand their nervous system and what might be getting it dysregulated on a daily basis. Because I truly feel now, of course, we don't all have been blessed with living on top of a mountain with, forests everywhere where we can regulate on a regular basis by going outside in nature. So to be mindful to incorporating having these tools inside your house where you can make it simple, like you said, simple, taking some breath, time in stillness. There is time in nature. There's even sound, different sounds. I have my sound bowl that I love that I got from Katie Joe. And so there are different tools, red light therapy. Even the birds. And for me, I love going to, when I wake up in the morning, I open up my window and I hear the birds singing.
Right. It's really there's so many women that think they're broken or that think they need fixing. and they just need to come back.
Yes, and they keep searching outside. So you had
Yes.
mentioned earlier in your story, you would go to doctors and your panels were all normal. Gosh, I have been there. I was like, oh my gosh, I barely could eat. I had gut issues, my hair. I was so exhausted all the time. It was mid-30s. I go do all my panels too. And they're like, oh, you're fine. I'm like, I am not fine.
Right.
I am far from being fine. There's
Right.
something wrong. And then I go to another specialist because I'm like, oh, my periods are so heavy right now. And have never had painful like periods and thinking maybe two of mine, but whatever. For women. But
Right.
it wasn't normal.
Right.
And my body was speaking, and I go see a gynecologist. And, oh, nothing. Just take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen every time. I'm like, what?
Right. Our body will whisper
Yes.
and whisper.
Yes.
And then
it's
it gets
too loud.
louder.
And that's why I have this show, because don't wait till it gets louder.
Right.
Learn to come back to yourself.
Right.
And learn what those whispers are. Learn the tools for your nervous system and give yourself grace for not being taught that. It's not like we go to university to become a mom.
Exactly.
And each child is different.
Right.
And it's going to challenge us in different way because we are meant to grow.
And by doing this work, it teaches our children how to stay with themselves. And my hope is that by women learning this, how to return to themselves, that kids won't feel that disconnect within themselves because their mom will feel regulated. She'll feel grounded. She can stay with hard feelings. She doesn't have to run. Their child doesn't have to run. Our emotions are not stop signs.
That's beautiful.
Just giving us messages.
Changing the generation, which is so needed right now. I mean, I do see it with my kids as well. And I know you work with children as well, and teens mostly. Is that correct?
I started with just kids and said I didn't want to work with teenagers, and that's all I work with at this point.
Okay.
I'm full with teens. Yes.
And can you explain what you do with these teens? What kind of program?
So I wrote my own curriculum when the one that I was certified in did not have body-based training for kids and learning materials. I wrote a curriculum called 7 Magic Mindsets, and it brings in that body work as well, teaching them emotional resilience and somatic tools to remember that their magic is within themselves and that they don't have to search the world over, which is my book, Magic Mountain. That is the premise of the book. It started with all of that, and then I got into hypnotherapy and had more training with the nervous system, hypnotherapy, breath work. And then I started working more with teens and now with women as well. So
I think it's
just
so important. I
evolving.
keep saying we need your program in schools.
I know.
Really, I mean, somehow an after school program to teach that, because I see that kids are not taught that in school, and teachers are already, overworked. And
Our teachers need this too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. So for kids at a young age to learn to listen to their body, learn these, affirmation, all these tools, like
Right.
even shaking it out, jumping up and down,
Right.
and tapping. So I think this somehow we need to start very young so that, they're not working at it in their 20s and 30s and 40s,
Right.
and then their health is impacted.
We have a summer camp that
Oh, you do?
Yes, that is in July for their 7 and 8-year-olds. We're going to start there.
Okay.
And then
Wait,
do a little
no,
trial
how come
basis.
I didn't know this? I need to send my kids there.
It's a little trial basis. We're going to wait and see.
Send my kids. They're a bit older, 10 and 12.
I would love to do this for all ages.
Mhm.
And these really are simple tools that you can use every day that can change the way that kids see what used to be viewed as wrong or scary emotions. And instead of running from them and getting outbursts later, they can turn towards themselves and sit with hard feelings and sit with difficult thoughts and have a landing place to talk that out.
This is so needed. I mean, now there's such a rise in depression for young kids, and they don't have an outlet. They don't know where to go, even though some of them may have faith, but it's the nervous system tools that they're not taught. I think that's so imperative for kids, and I know I've learned these for my own kids and see which ones work, which ones. One that I really noticed for my daughter is cold plunging. Cold plunging, the red light, and the sauna. She is really drawn to water.
Love
And
that.
singing is a big outlet for her.
Wow.
And actually, the day I had told them that their dad had passed, we were in Maui. We walked along the ocean and she started just singing to the ocean. And I
Oh,
think that has continued to be her outlet to move through emotions. So it's teaching kids that might be more shy to use their voice without shame and know how to use their voice, which helps regulate the vagus nerves,
yes.
the humming. I think the
Emotion,
emotion.
energy in motion. That's,
Yes.
yes, keep it moving.
Keep it moving where it gets blocked. Like even my son is sick now, and I'm like, so for me, I can't help but think, well, what made his temple, his body, not safe? Like what was his nervous system? Where was it food, diet? What was it in his environment right now, or his thoughts? Oftentimes he lives spirals in his thought patterns of, oh, I didn't do good enough, like that perfectionism. And so teaching kids to be mindful of that little bully is what I call it, the little bully inside.
I call them ants.
Ants? Oh, I like
Automatic
that.
negative thoughts.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
that.
we got to get that ant catcher out there
Okay, I
and
love
not
it.
and not make them wrong either, but just make it
Yeah, with
like
shame, yeah.
sometimes they get into those thought loops, but there's so much freedom when you say to them, "Hey, this is just your brain trying to protect you from something. What do you think about this? And do you think that your brain is trying to protect you from that?" And all of the sudden, they go from judging themselves to being really curious.
Mm.
And as soon as you can be curious about something instead of judgmental, your heart opens up, your mind opens up. They're like, oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying here. And it loses its grip on them.
And that's so important. I love the way you explain it because it's oftentimes as a parent we don't have the language,
Right.
right? The
Right.
language to put them through that process. So even
Right.
as you're speaking, I'm like, oh, okay, I like the way she explained it and the way I can explain it with my kids with their thoughts. Because
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like, oh, what's in it? Removing that shame that those
Right.
thoughts come or that fear of
Right.
them,
Right.
and where is it coming from? Because oftentimes, like you said, it kept them safe for a little bit. Those thoughts,
It worked at some
it worked,
point for
yeah.
something. And explaining what a beautiful brain you have. What a beautiful brain that wants to protect you from this or that. All that was at some point keeping you safe. And now you don't need that anymore. So let's look at that for a second. And then they have no more, I mean, the compassion steps in for that. And they can see, oh, wow, my brain is my friend. It's not trying to hurt me.
That's so beautiful. So where are you doing these? Where are you starting your first? Where are
The
we talking?
camp,
The
Magic
camp.
Mountain
Sorry, I was
Summer
at
Camp,
Magic Mountain Summer Camp.
is in
Where
my hometown
is it?
in Baker, Montana. So
Oh
that's a little
wow.
jaunt for your kids.
Oh, that's
But
okay. They would love that. They miss. And it's kind of a good time of year to get out of
right,
here in
right.
Arizona. No, they would love that. I mean, they miss that from Alaska as the mountains, the
Sure.
outdoors. Oh no, they would go there.
I will keep you updated on this. I'm excited to try this. We have so many ideas. We're pulling in all of the 7 characters from my book, Magic Mountain.
Yeah, tell me the characters.
So,
I love these books. Tell me a bit
thank
about the
you.
characters.
Well, I'm super excited because, as you know, I wrote this children's book before I met you in
Yes.
2022.
I remember we were sitting on the couch at our retreat and you're
Yes.
showing me.
Okay.
You were showing me about it. And since then I was like, I need this for my kids.
Yes. Well, it has really taken off. I found an illustrator because I wrote the story and then it stayed on a shelf for years. And then I found an illustrator and she's helping me draw them into watercolor characters that are a lot softer and with an entire world of Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
It looks like our cabin up in the Wasatch Mountains. And so we're kind of replicating it off of that. And the 7 characters appear to the little girl who I named Dottie after my granddaughter. I can see all of the timing of things, right?
Yes,
Because
you trust the timing
just
always,
wasn't
right?
ready. So the main character is Dottie, and she gets lost from Magic Mountain, and the characters, the guides appear to her and give her clues on how to get home. And then at the end, towards the end, she finds out that they were never coming from this layered stone in her pocket. They were within her the
Oh,
entire time.
wow. Beautiful.
So
Wow.
it's such a sweet story. My grandmother wrote Magic Mountain stories for us growing up, and that's where the whole Magic Mountain line came from. And it has just taken on a life of its
Taking
own.
on, and she's helping you. Yeah.
Yes,
guide
I
it
can
all into
feel my
Valentine, and now your
grandmother
and your
now
grandbaby.
I know all of it, all of it.
All of it that goes into it. And that's what I love. There's so much heart and there's so much wisdom. And
Thank you.
and there's nothing like that out there. Actually, in fact, I was looking for camps for my kids this summer, and I was like, oh yeah, it'd be great if they did some mindfulness
Right.
and learn all that during camp. And love the faith aspect of the camps, but even drawing in the nervous system and
Right.
all of that is
Right.
very much needed, and all the elements of nature as well. In Montana, this would be beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely will have to keep me posted, and
I will.
we'll have to share about that, because I know a lot of parents out there are probably looking for something like this for their kids as well. And because these are tools that these kids can carry on. And the great thing, there's a ripple effect. They go back to school, and
Right.
then they tell their friends, and they see them doing these, and maybe they're thriving, they're doing well.
Right.
Kids will start, well, what are you doing differently?
And I think it's so powerful to remove the old stigma of mental health and to look at it as this is an entire wellness program. This is not just our mental health. This is our brain. This is our nervous system. This is getting back to the basics with nature and connection.
I think we've gone too far.
I think we've gone too far.
We've gone too far.
And social media and people talk all about like the, soft kids these days. And I don't see it like that at all. I see these kids who have so many odds stacked against them with parents who don't have the tools or the awareness of how to help them, not because they don't love their children, but because they don't see another way.
Yeah.
And programs like this and what we have with the camps and the tools that we have just give kids their power back.
The power back. I love that you mentioned that, because I'm feeling called. We need to come back to our own power.
Right.
We are given a powerful vessel, powerful temple right
Right.
here. We need to come back here and become almost like our own health advocate,
Absolutely.
because we've given our power away. I love doctors and all the,
Right.
but that's not what I'm saying. But also trust your intuition, trust your body,
Right.
and listen to it. And it's always speaking, and don't give the power away. How often do we give our own health power to insurance? Oh, well, I can't see this provider because my insurance doesn't cover it.
Right.
We're giving away that power.
One of the characters or the guides is Inner Compass.
Oh, I love it.
And I see this over and over with kids. They are not very far from themselves. They have not become disconnected the way that we have as adults. It's not when they understand who they are and we remind them of who they are and the power that they have within themselves and the sovereignty that's within them, they're so easy to guide back, to trust themselves, to know, they don't have to follow what the world is saying.
Yes. Which I bet, that's going to help them in their mental health, and whatever stigma
Absolutely.
they've been put in, that will change and give them the empowerment to heal themselves
Absolutely.
and for a lifetime, and quiet the noise.
And to
from the
see,
outside.
you know what, this isn't right. There's something here that's not right. Even if everyone around them is saying, well, this is okay. This is how it's always been done.
Yes.
We need those kids. who understand their sovereignty and who trust
Gives them
themselves.
the power.
That
Yes.
says, I don't see it that way. I see it differently.
Good. Wow, this is incredible. So if anyone wanted to, touch base with you and stay connected for all your powerful work, because I'm so excited. I mean, I'm
Thank
honored
you.
to have you here and share, because this is so aligns with what I'm trying to create and put out there and draw people back in as well and give the empowerment. And your program coincides so much with the work that I want to do. And how can people get a hold of you, find you, and stay connected?
So I'm on Instagram, The Real Magic Inside on Instagram, and then magic-inside.com is my website. And there's all of the information about the upcoming books and the programs that we have. I have free meditations on there and downloadables.
That's fantastic. And your book is not out yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. What, do you have a date yet?
Summer.
Summer.
The manuscript is done.
Okay.
I want to release Magic Mountain, the children's book, shortly after I release Sacred Return.
Okay.
Because Sacred Return is for mothers, and I didn't do this on purpose, but the way that it works out is Magic Mountain is basically the same book that Sacred Return is just for kids.
That's beautiful. I'm excited. I'll buying it and gifting
Yes,
it to so many
girl.
moms.
Come to the book
and
release.
Kids. Oh, I absolutely.
With your kids.
Count me in. Yes,
we're going to have
count me
lots
in
of
and
fun things.
Count me. I'm sending my kids to Montana.
Jump on a plane with me.
Yes, I would love to. I'd be honored. So for anybody that's listened today and really resonated with how we need to protect our nervous system, come back to ourselves, and how this will be such a gift to our families. And now also the importance for our kids to learn that. They will learn it through us once we do the work. But start showing your kids how they can start connecting to their bodies and why they're reacting the way they are. Are we grinding through the days, the weeks, and never pausing to hear and to listen to what's truly going on? I'm sharing all of this because I don't want you to wait until you have those whispers become bigger ailments, bigger things that now over time, this affects your health for a very, very long time. It'll affect your family as well. And this can impact you in a way where where your longevity for your life is shortened. So you want to be there for your kids for a long time. You want to be able to play with them, have vitality. And this will all start with your nervous system, because your body on a cellular level cannot heal if you are in fight and flight on a constant basis. There's no room to heal. That's physiology. That is science. And once you stay in the parasympathetic and can tell your body it is safe now, it will start to rest and repair. That's why it's imperative to slow down, to breathe, to reconnect to your body and start listening. So if you like this episode, please like and share and subscribe, because this is how we could get this message globally to so many women that need this right now. And I'll leave all the information in the show notes for Kristen Merwin right now, who her programs are needed globally as well. So please help and share. Thank you very much.